Hi there, welcome to Calm Space. My name is Anaya and I want to bring you 10 minutes worth of stretching and breathing with my Pilates class in order to bring a little bit of quiet and disconnect to your nervous system, to let it lower down and to allow you to relieve stress and tension. Now I'm sat on 2 yoga blocks here and we're going to start in sitting. So if you have a chair to hand, you could sit on those. And if you have a little stool, you can. Equally, if you've got some cushions that can bolster you up, please use those as well. These yoga blocks are quite thick so that my pelvis is lifted off the floor, enabling much better alignment and space for my hips. So that's what I want you to do, is just to sit as comfortably as you can. It doesn't need to be cross-legged. Sit on a chair, whatever you need for you. So let's get started. So finding yourself just sitting onto your sit bones, either feet together at hip distance apart or cross-legged like I am, and grow nice and tall up a pretend height chart. Now that length is in the spine. It's a sense of lift and floating rather than rigidity in the spine if you need to sit straight and to sit still. And I want you to, if you feel comfortable, just to close your eyes and just let your eyelids settle and feel a heaviness through your eyelids. But if you choose not to close your eyes, you can simply have a softness through your gaze and just look down to the floor. Now I want you just to start breathing. Seems quite simple, but breath can be complicated, and how we breathe is very different for everyone. I just want you to notice where you're breathing in your body. A lot of people, when tense, breathe very high into their clavicles, into their collarbones. This is a very stressful form of breathing, and it's almost like the last gasp of breath. In Pilates, we like to encourage a breathing of your thoracic spine into your torso, which is around the ribcage area, down into your diaphragm, your biggest breathing muscle. Without it, we could not exist. And then into the belly. So if you just place your hands now onto your ribcage at the front and one into your belly, start breathing now and notice what happens here. Just by having a touch of your hand into these areas, notice how you can expand more and enable a bigger breath into areas that you might not have been accustomed to breathing. Keep that focus of breath. Does this feel strange to you? To breathe into these areas? Have you been blocking these areas through overtly tensed muscles, intense core, for instance? Have you not been breathing deeply into this area and holding that deep last breath up into the clavicles? And now take your hands, if you're capable of doing this, just the backs of the hands into the outsides of the rib cage. And now start breathing here. Notice how this feels to breathe into and expand into the sides of the rib cage. This might feel very alien to you. Notice how the rib cage expands like gills of a fish or a shark might expand into your hands. Notice how the shoulders will rise and fall gently through that movement and that capacity of your breath. And then from there, take your hands to the back of your body so that your fingers can reach down towards your lower back, which in itself has a capacity to breathe. So think about your rib cage, not just at the front, but it's down at the back. And can you breathe into your back now? Can you expand deep down, allowing your back to breathe? Do you notice that perhaps one side of your back is breathing better than the other? It expands. Can you enable more breath on one side and facilitate that breath deeper down? And then take your hands away and let them settle again wherever feels comfortable for you. And if you need to change positions of your feet, please do so. Now let's think about that breath in a whole body approach. Can you breathe upwards and downwards? So up towards your head and down towards the pelvic organs. Can you breathe forward and back? Can you breathe into the lateral sides of the body? So now it's the whole entirety, 360, three-dimensional self that is breathing. As you breathe in, your diaphragm is pulling in and helping your lungs to receive that air. Your lungs expand within the cavity of the rib cage. The rib cage is then lifting up and breathing with the gills, which is the rib cage. It expands, it pulls you up in this column of breath. And then as you breathe out, the diaphragm just softens gently. And then you're able to expel that air. And then the whole process starts again without you sometimes even thinking about it. And just let everything settle now and just breathe as normally as you can. And then we're going to do a few stretches, especially around the ribcage area and the shoulders, just to enable better breath and breathing, because often stress, tension in the shoulders will restrict and constrict that breath. And breath is our all-being of vitality and very necessary in order that we quieten our nervous system. So let's take both arms up. And as you take both arms up, I want you to think about the pelvic floor muscles, so the muscles that stop you from weeing and farting, connecting. And then at the front, the abdominal, lower abdominals, your core muscles tighten into the midline. It's almost like lift doors shutting at the front. So taking your arms up, the palms are turning towards each other, then take your arms out to the side and then circle them again. We exhale as the arms float up, inhale as you go out. Exhale, floating up, inhale out to the side. One more, exhaling up. Inhale, reach out to the side. You can just about see your hands and then turn the palms down. Good. With your left hand, take it up. Can the shoulder blade glide in your back and allow your body to tip over towards the right as the elbow then bends on that right side. The chest and the pelvis is facing forwards. And then we're going to push yourself up with your right hand and then take it up and over as we stretch and open out all through those gills on that side and then up. And now we're going to add a breath. Can you inhale? As you stretch, exhale. Inhale as you stretch, breathe into those ribs. Exhale, lift out of your waistline. Up and back. Up and back. One more each side. And come back. Well done. From here, I'll turn so you can see. We're going to curve inwards. So arms are out. Palms are facing forwards, spine elongated. Tip your pubic bone to your heart and you're going to tuck inwards. So you're curling your head towards your pubic bone towards your head. Notice how you're opening up all through the back. And then you come back into lifting and lengthening up. We exhaling, curl the pubic bone up. Use your abdominals, chin soft to your throat and inhaling as we come back. And exhaling as you curl. And inhaling as you come back. One more. Exhaling. And inhaling. Well done. Now from here, change your leg position. You're going to be like a hurdler. Can you take your left foot forwards and the right back? So it looks like this. And this is why I'm propped up onto some blocks, because it really helps to be able to sit in this position. We're going to mobilize the hips. and mobilize the shoulders a bit more. So grow tall, arms out to the side. Can you now reach your left hand slightly behind you? Can you place your hand onto your right hip? Curl the pubic bone up to your heart and rotate that right hip towards the left. Can you feel that stretch coming into the groin area as well as the front of the thigh on that side? Now reach your right arm and look behind you. Push the floor away with the left. Can you feel even more of a stretch sensation coming in and then come out of it and reach? We curl, tucking the pubic bone in towards you, reaching your arm, push the floor away and then come out of it and come back and curling and tucking that pubic bone up, pushing the floor away, reaching the arm and come out of it and in. Good. Other side. Crossing those legs over now, holding that position. Well done. Arms out just to give you that height. Take the arm back. Think about the hip curling and tucking, drawing that pubic bone up towards you, sending that left hip as you reach that left arm. Push the floor away with the right, helps you lift up even higher, getting that lovely long stretch across the front and then release. And curling, tucking in, pubic bone to your heart, ribs are staying nice and flush towards the pelvis as you reach and then come back. And one more, tuck and roll, pubic bone up as you reach the arm. Excellent. And then come back. Really good. From here, reach both feet out. Now, if you're sat on a chair, you can have your legs a little bit wider like this, and then we're going to do a stretch forwards. For those who want a little bit more of a stretch into your hamstrings, extend your legs out and you can flex your feet, taking the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Now, palms facing inwards, chin soft to the throat, core engaged, chin in, feel the rib cage draw back as you reach forwards for a stretch and lift back up. We exhale as the head starts coming, the ribs pull back, and then feeling that you're reaching forward through the crown of the head rather than pulling forward through the fingers, and then reaching back up. 2 more. Exhaling as you go forwards, inhaling as you come back, and again exhaling as you go forwards, inhaling as you come back. Well done. Now, crossing the legs back as you feel best for you. Take your arms behind you now without the chest sticking up as much as you can help that. Now, if you're on a chair, you might need to swivel your back so that you are not then getting the back of the chair. Interlace the hands as much as you can. And if you can't bring the heels of the hands together, then have the heels of the hands apart. Or in fact, hold a towel or a cushion. Now, lifting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, send the arms down, core engaged, lift your heart up towards the ceiling as your chin softens down towards your throat. Inhale there, exhale, soften. Roll the shoulders back, reach the arms down, feel the chest lifting. And release. Good, give yourself a hug. And give yourself a hug. Well done. From there, we'll end with some neck stretches because we need to relieve those shoulders. Good. So hopefully all of this space feels far looser as you sit. So grow up nice and tall. Take both arms up. How do they feel now compared to the beginning of the session? Take the arms out. Exhaling up. Inhaling out, and hopefully that feels much, much better. You feel a better breathing capacity in your torso. Now, tip your head to your right and allow that left collarbone to reach away. Now, with your chin, you're going to lift it up so you can turn your head slightly to that right and feel that stretch coming all the way down in towards your clavicle, that collarbone. Release and come back up into sitting upright. Good. Tip, turn that head, reach away that arm and clavicle, away from that chin. And then come back and come up. Take both hands, place them to the back of your head. And now what you're going to do is lower your elbows, you can see them in your peripheral vision. Push your head into your hands and the hands into the head. And the hands will act a bit like traction against the head. And it feels like the head is lifting up as the throat and the chin comes soft at the throat. Feel that stretch coming in. And release. We'll do one more of those. So push the head and the hands together. As the chin comes soft at the throat, it feels like it's lifting the head off the neck. And just stretching out an area that gets really tense, and it can cause tension headaches and tired eyes, especially that concentration at a computer all day long. And then a release. Good. Take the hands away. And then just let your head turn from right to left and left to right. And I hope that feels a lot freer in terms of your neck, shoulders, and your breathing. Thank you so much for joining me.